back to another Wednesday.
Hey!
And as you guessed by this video, we are going to be talking about browns. Neutral browns versus cool browns versus warm browns and how it all works.
Some people may say, well, why are we talking about browns? Because brown, brown is brown is brown is brown, right? But that's not true. And there are some cases where brown's an essential part of your wardrobe, even if you're a cool season. I have browns in my wardrobe by necessity. So you got to understand whether brown is warm, whether brown is cool, whether it's going to look good on you or not. And it's a nuance.
Think about like lipstick colors. If you're going for a nude, you got to make sure the nude is within your right palette. Also prints. Like prints are so hot right now. Leopard print is a huge thing and it's super trendy right now.
Yeah.
So making sure that leopard print is within your season, whether it's cool, whether it's warm, or whether it's a neutral print that all seasons can wear.
Right. And it's not difficult to understand, but it's not information that's it's not readily available. It's not something you may have run across ever before. So this is going to be good info.
All right, now let's take a look at how a brown is actually made. What colors make up a brown?
Well, I don't know if you remember being in kindergarten and finger painting. I know I go back to that. I'm sorry. But when you're finger painting, they say that if you mix complementary colors together, you'll get mud. I remember that phrase, mud. You'll make mud. In this instance, we've mixed cadmium orange, and these are oil paints. These are the names of oil paints. So if people say, well, what's cadmium? It's just, it's a mineral that makes the pigment orange. So let's just say you mix orange and blue. When you mix orange and blue, you get mud or brown, a neutral brown.
And now let's talk about, so you just said you get a neutral brown, right? And that's important for this next slide that we're going to show you, because what happens when you're trying to go from a neutral brown to a warm versus a cool?
Well, think about what your component parts of your brown were. Orange and blue. Those are like the poster children for warm and cool, right? So you add a little more orange to your mix and your brown, or a little more yellow, add a little more orange and your brown takes on more of a yellow cast, right? And you add a little more blue and your brown takes on a more purple cast as you're looking at it. So you can swing your neutral brown in each direction by adding one or the other, the warm or the cool.
I just want to go over this chart really quickly. So we have the orange plus the blue equals our neutral brown. And that neutral brown on the second row goes into the middle. And once you're seeing on the left, you're seeing a brown plus yellow, which makes
you're seeing brown with a little more yellow or a little more orange, which gives it a slightly more yellow cast.
Gotcha. So that's going to be your warm brown on the left. Sure. And then on the other side of that is going to be your brown with the purple cast, which is going to be cool
with brown. A little more blue in it. You're in your finger paints. And this is how you mix everything in equal portions together. You got your neutral. And if you wanted to go a little bit warmer, you add a little more orange. If you want to go a little bit cooler, you add blue. Once you've done that, your brown will look a little more yellow. It'll seem to have a little more yellow in it. Or if you're looking at it on the cool side, it will seem cast a little more toward purple.
All right, now let's take a look at a full spectrum of browns, cools, neutrals, and warms, and how they fit into each season.
Wow. There are a couple of things that I'm seeing here that I think are so interesting. First of all, because it runs from light to deep, I am struck by, you may be struck by, remember when I said you add a little more orange and it takes on a yellow cast? Look how golden that light brown at the top looks. It has taken on quite the yellow cast. So the lighter it goes, the more yellow it appears. On the opposing side, if you set those next to each other, remember yellow and purple are also complementary colors. So side by side, the cooler brown takes on a more purple cast as you're looking at it. But then what's, I think, fascinating on the warm side is it gets redder and redder. It gets more orange and more orange as it gets deeper.
And as I look at this is a really great example for skin tones. So this can really help you understand if you're a warm, neutral, and cool skin tone, just taking a look at this chart as well. Because you have your warmer skin tones or have that yellow cast to it, and then the cooler skin tones, it almost looks, it has that purple and a little bit pink cast to it.
Rosy almost. But also neutrals are strictly the lack of going in one direction or the other. It's the place where you start out. So there are some people, they don't lean toward warm, and they may not lean toward cool. They hit smack dab in the middle. And for foundations, this is why in our company for foundations, we don't seasonalize foundations. We match to the skin tone, because you could be a warm season with a cool skin tone, or you can be a cool season and be olive complected, which is a neutral skin tone. So that's the one part. It can give you directionally a place to go as far as analyzing somebody's season. It's not the be all and end all in terms of determining what colors you wear. And we're doing something a little bit different today. We probably should have mentioned this right at the top of the video, and that is we're doing a pre-record so that we can sit in on the viewing. So it's kind of like a watch party, and answer questions as we go along by chat. And we don't have to disrupt the video, and we can get, basically show the meat of the video without going off topic. Think about what would happen. Let's say you're a cool season and you wanted khakis. This is where, a cool season would choose a stone or have a stone in her color fan when you're talking khaki. Even you may want to have a brown boot in your wardrobe to wear with navy blue, which I think is stunning. It's a striking combination. I don't, a lot of us will wear black boots with our navy blue, but it's, if you want to have variety, this is how you do it. This is what you look for. You look for the cooler brown, the roses that move down the spectrum. So the thing to remember is that all of this, whereas it may seem, we put this here so that you can see it, because if you can visualize it, you can understand it. But if it seems complex to you in terms of shopping your wardrobe and so forth, remember, these are all set out for you in your color fan. And that is why the color fans are so important, because at Color and Beautiful, we say, you can wear any color. It's just the tonality, the warmth, the shade, specific shade that's best for you.
And this is
set out for you.
Yeah, this is kind of the perfect representation of that, of the tonality of each individual color. So right now we're looking at brown. We're taking a look at what a cool brown versus a warm brown looks like. What is a light brown versus a deep brown?
Right. And we just deal with warm and cool. But remember, when you're talking 4 seasons, there's another dimension. They say it's like playing 3-dimensional chess. Well, in our case, it's like playing 4-dimensional chess, because not only do we deal with the warm and the cool of the brown, we have to deal with the clarity or the brightness of the brown color versus muting it for the softer seasons. So what you would see here, and and maybe this is a different show, but for an autumn, what this warm part of this these browns, they would go a little bit redder. Imagine mixing your hair color into each of those. Soften it a little bit and move it into a little bit more of the red category. For brightness, for a spring, it would go just a little more toward yellow. It's because you want to, that will brighten it up. Now, on the winter side, these cooler shades, you may see something that mutes these shades down a little bit. For me, for example, if you look at the brown that's on the top, imagine just a little bit of my hair color added into that. And that will be the brown. Those will be the browns that are on my color fan. Whereas the winters might be a hair bluer.
And if you have any questions regarding what your color fan is going to be, what season you are, go ahead, take the color quiz, and it will drop you into the right season for you. And then you can figure out the best colors to wear for your hair color.
Your hair color, your eye color, all you. Okay, now let us know if you like this format. We just want to try something a little bit different because we want to get more engaged with you guys. If you love it, let us know. If not so much. If you want to see a variety of these 2 formats, let us know. And in the meantime, we will see you on Monday, and have a wonderful rest of your week.
All right.
As opposed to a Rose. Hi, girl. Look, she's so warm.
Oh, man. And this is why we pre-record.